Today, I'm going to go over working inside the certificate editor. While I'm going to be working on an online course certificate, it's important to mention, you'll find this same editor for your ILT programs, your certification programs, and also your learning paths. The main difference you'll find, each of these different editors has placeholders unique and relevant to the area they're designing for. Let's start by getting to our editor from inside of the course. Before I actually open up the editor, I'm going to point out that I can load in templates I've saved in the past. So after the changes we make today, we'll save that as a template, and we'll then load it into a new course. Now let's open up the editor, and before I make any changes, let me explain a couple of items. Here, we have the option to load from an existing template. These three items, add text, add image, and change border image, I will demonstrate these in a bit. The grid size refers to a hidden snapping mechanism on your certificate builder. If you're uncomfortable in editors, I'd recommend bumping this up. You'll have less flexibility for positioning of the elements, but it will take a lot less effort to make things look really good. If you want to be able to drag things around with no resistance whatsoever, you can keep this slider all the way to the left. One last thing, before we start actually working inside here, there are some hotkeys available for when you're working inside the editor. We can use the arrow keys to nudge up, down, left and right. If we hold down the Ctrl plus Shift keys, and then press either H or V, you can align an image, or a piece of text, either horizontally or vertically. And for those of you that understand CSS, if you press Ctrl plus Shift plus tilde, you can access an item's CSS directly. Now let's get into making some changes. I'll start by changing the background image. Next, I'm going to add the user profile avatar to the top left of the certificate. I'll make an adjustment, so it displays as a circle. Now, I'll make changes to the text up at the top. I'll bring everything else down here to the right, and take care of this redundant text as well. I'm going to do some other manipulation of the certificate. Take note of some of the tools I am using. It's useful for you to be able to see how they affect the visuals as I apply them. Alright, let me go over some important things you should know that may not have been obvious while I was doing it. First of all, placeholders. When I add a text region to the certificate, the text itself is edited through the text box. Just about every user profile field is capable of being displayed here, as well as in this editor's case, some course-specific data. For the style of the text, we can use these sliders here on the right side of the editor, or we can bring up the CSS editor by pressing Ctrl, Shift, tilde. Regarding images and the certificate background, both areas give you a handful of images by default to choose from. At the top of the insert region, instructions are given on how to upload your own images so they appear here. As a special tip, notice the QR code. If you place this on your certificate, users can scan it, and by doing so, they will be taken to their digital certificate. Some administrators use this so when certificates are printed, users can always get back and reprint them. You can also use this in combination with the wallet card certificate layout. Lastly, when I go to save this as a template, you want to be aware that you're creating a template for this item type. In other words, an online course certificate template is for online courses only, and for example cannot be loaded into an ILT program. For course certificates, when I save this template, I also have the option to make this the new default for all courses going forward. So if you're just starting in the system, it might be a good idea to get your first certificate the way you want, and then make it the default for all new courses you create. To wrap up, let me go and load this certificate template into another course for you, so you can see how easy that process actually is. All I need to do is choose the template I want to apply, and then click Save. And that is your crash course in the System Certificate Builder. It's super easy to use, and easy to design good-looking certificates. And with the keyboard commands, we can push those capabilities even further.